Hello everyone, I am Emperor Penguin from Penguin Saber Academy based out of Palm Desert, California, and today we're going to be going over our version of Form 1, Lesson 1 of Saber Combat. Now the goals of this lesson is to learn basic stance, footwork, the 3 basic attacks, and the 3 basic blocks. We're not doing anything fancy, nothing crazy. All we're doing is we are starting on the path to becoming a Saber fighter. First, we are going to establish our stance. You start by figuring out if you're a righty or a lefty. Whichever you are, you will lead with that foot. I'm right-handed, so I lead with my right foot. When I take my stance, my lead foot is going to be pointing directly at my opponent, while my back foot is a shoulder length apart from my front, and tilted a bit off center from my opponent, but still pointing in the general direction where I want the action to be taking place. It's important to have a soft, comfortable bend in your knees, as well as having your back in a relatively straight and upright position. Lastly, your blade should be held at roughly a 30 to 45 degree angle, pointing at your opponent, cutting them down the center line. You will also be holding your hilt with your dominant hand with your thumb extended, and your offhand being down below with a generous amount of space between the two. This next segment is basic footwork. In order to make a forward movement, or an advance as we like to call it, you will be leading with your front foot starting first, stepping heel, toe, then following it up with your back foot, ideally landing in the similar position that your stance started out in. And then for the retreat, you will be leading with your back foot, going toe to heel, and following that up with your front foot. Again, remembering to ideally land in a similar position that your stance started out in. Now that we know how to stand and to walk, we are going to go over the basic attacks, the first of which is going to be the Shi. In order to do the Shi, when you're in your stance, you're going to be pushing down with your front hand and pulling up with your back hand to create a very slight slapping motion like so. As you can see, that was a bit slowly done. Let's do it a little bit faster now, and there you go. Here is a couple more angles of the Shi. It's important to remember when doing the Shi that the target area for the strike is going to be the hands and the arm, and always go back to guard after you've completed your strike. The next attack is the side strike. In order to do a proper side strike, you start by doing a slight tilt, aiming towards the side that you will be attacking. Then you will release it on a horizontal axis as if you are cutting someone in half, with the target area being either their shoulders, ribs, or their lower side right above the waist. It is important that when you are performing a side strike, you are leading the strike with your thumb that should hopefully be extended on the top of your hilt, imagining that the bottom of your thumb is the cutting edge of an actual sword. Make sure when you're doing the side strike, you aren't pulling it behind you like a baseball swing. We do not want to hurt people, we just want to score the point. The final attack we are going to go over is the 5 strike. Starting in basic stance, you will bring your blade up over your head to be parallel to the ground. This part can be tricky since it's hard to feel exactly what parallel is. Once you are in position, you are now allowed to bring it down upon your enemy, aiming ideally for their head, bringing this big crushing motion like so. Once the strike is completed, make sure you return to guard. Common mistakes with the 5 strike include going way too far back where you expose your belly and almost hit yourself in the butt with your saber, or not doing a parallel blade. Both of these things can either make you hit yourself or obscure your vision, so we want to try to make sure that blade stays parallel. Lastly, we are on to basic defense, starting with the 3 block. The 3 covers the dominant side of the body, and in this case, the right side of the body. There's no black magic foolery here. All you do for a 3 block is push your arms out slightly towards your dominant side, creating a wall between you and your opponent's blade. Take care not to raise or lower your hilt when pushing it out to the side, keeping it at about waist level. Hands are target, so raising our hands up can include them getting hit. Similar to the 3 block is the 4 block. The 4 block protects the left side of the body. When doing a 4 block, you will do a slight hip twist to that side and extend your arms to the left side. Remember, when doing the 4 block, keep your blade up and twist your hips. If you collapse your blade forward, which is a very common mistake, it'll make you, get hit, you'll lose a point, you're going to get disarmed, or you're going to look like an idiot, which is truthfully the worst. As we say in Penguin Saber Academy, keep your blade erect. The last block we are going to learn is the 5 block, which will protect your head. In order to execute a perfect 5 block, you will swing your arms up to your non-dominant side, lifting it just above your head with a slight tilt away from your hands and having it roughly 2 to 3 fist lengths from your forehead. Too close to your head and your opponent will crash through your blade hitting you. too far, and it leaves your target area exposed. A common mistake is swinging the blade up the wrong way, like so, creating a cross section between both your arms. We want to try avoid doing this in practice and drills as much as possible, since it leaves you prone to collapsing on yourself and, of course, hitting yourself. Congratulations! If you have stayed with me this entire time and followed along, you are now able to do as much as any penguin on their first day. If you'd like to practice your basics, I recommend grabbing a friend to train with you and practice trading attacks and defense. Start slow to make sure your form is as accurate as possible. You can speed up as you get more comfortable, and if you want to make it spicier, feel free to throw in an advance with each attack and a retreat with each block. Anyway, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again soon. And until next time, toodles!